Love Tricks, Act 3. A room in Rufaldo's house. Rufaldo. 'Tis now early day 5. What a long night hath this been! The sun went drunk to bed the last night, and could not see to rise this morning. I could hardly wink, I am sure. Love kept me waking, and the expectation of this my wedding day did so caper in my brain. I thought of nothing but dancing, the shaking of the sheets with my sweetheart. It is certain I am young, everybody now tells me so. It did appear by Selina's consenting so soon to love, for when I had but broke the ice of my affection, she fell over head and ears in love with me. Was ever man so happy as I am? I do feel my years fall off as the rain from a man that comes dropping in. I do feel myself every day grow younger and younger still. Let me see, 100 years hence, if I live to it, I shall be new out of my teens and running into years of discretion again. Well, I will now to Master Cornelio's and bid them good morrow with the noise of musicians, and to see at the very talking of my music how my heart leaps and dances in my wedding already. I've bespoke the parson to marry us, and have promised him a double fee for expedition. Oh, now I'm so proud of my joy, my feet do not know what ground they stand on. Scene 2. The country. Enter Jenkin and Jocarello. Jenkin has risen very early this morning, and has been in studies and contemplations to make ditties and verses upon her mistress' beauties and pulchritudes. But the devil's sure in these poetries, they call it furies and raptures. Look you, but Jenkin's pace is almost mad, and yet her cannot our inclinations meet with these furies and raptures. Enter Selina in shepherd's weeds. Selina, thus far I have passed without discovery. The morning is suspicious to my flight. Selina, what an alteration hath the day made in thee, that to prevent thy so desired marriage thou art thus lost in a masculine habit, and dost fly him. Thou didst so much love aged Rufaldo, and what a lethargy wert thou fallen, Selina. Jenkins, Jocarello, does her name Selina? 'Tis no very good manners to make interruptions, or will hear more. Look you, Selina, whether had reason to so withdrawn herself, I could not make distinction of a man from such a heap of age, aches, and rheum. Sure I was mad, and it doth increase my fury to think with what a violence I ran to embrace such rottenness. Oh, my guilty soul doth feel the punishment of the injury I did to Infortunio of late, of whom as I despair, so shall the world. Ever to know again, hapless Selina, this is the morn the sacred right should tie me to Rufaldo ripe in expectation, but like Exon shall grasp a cloud my empty clothes at home. Selina thus is turned a shepherd, and thus will try her fortune. Hard by the shepherds have their shady dwellings, there let Selina end her hapless days. Father and all farewell. Thus as Felice, my other sister, I'll wear out my life far from your knowledge. Sacred love commands revenge and justice for my cruelty, and reason now awake shall lead me to it. Thus I am safe. I go to find out that will meet me everywhere a just sad fate. Jenkins' pages have seen dreams, and apparitions. Hark you, was Selina turned shepherdess, pray you, Jocarello. Either we dream, or this was Selina, your mistress, that has turned into breeches and become a shepherd. The case is altered. Jenkins, what the devil is in the matters and business, pray your cases? Never was known such cases and alterations in all her life. Women's never wear breeches and wails. 'Tis not possible. We are all in dreams and visions, very dreams and visions. Jocarello, sure we are all waked, sir, and it was Selina. Did she not say she would obscure herself from her father's knowledge and live among the shepherds hard by? Jenkins, it may be, but it is very impossible. Scene 3. A room in Cornelio's house. Enter Cornelio, Rufaldo, Antonio, and Hilaria. Cornelio, I'm amazed. When was she seen? Antonio, not today, sir. I have searched her chamber and almost turned out the window. But no, Selina. Rufaldo, it is very strange. Is not your man gone come back? Cornelio, what should this mean? It's a strange absence on the wedding day, too. Rufaldo, that angers me most, sir. Cornelio, my heart misgives me. Some fatal accident upon my life has happened her. Enter a servant. Rufaldo, hast thou happy news? Servant, travelled all the town over and can meet no intelligence of her. Cornelio, be dumb, night raven, she is lost, she's lost. The fates sure may conspiracy to take my daughters from me, one I lost because I would not give her, and I have repented full justice for it. I am So unhappy to lose Selina too, but I'll not sleep till I find her either alive or dead. Rafalo, you have interest in the sorrow joint inquisition of my girl, Selina. For have I been young for this? If I find her not, I will run mad. To know no more. I know where her clothes be. If I take applaud my invention, I have a cousin, my own father before known. I will try new conclusions, but I must have thy assistance and secrecy. If my sister have a conceit of mirth to put upon us, I may chance put her to prove herself Selina, or remove her with a habeas corpus. Scene 4, street. Enter Jenkin and Jaccarello. Jenkin. Jaccarello's all is true. Selina is gone in shepherd's vestments to the woods and forests, but her will make travels and ambulations after. Never was a gentleman the world loves Jenkin now, to make journeys and peregrinations for a woman's. Look you, but if her find her as know her very well, her will there make all sure works and performances. Warrant you pages, here is monies, pray make provisions of breads and victuals too. No, odds are very bare places, and Jenkin was always have good stomachs and appetites. Look you, pray you do, pray you. Scene 5. Gasparo's lodgings, the compliment school. Enter Gasparo, habited punctually as master of the school, and Gorgon as his usher. Gasparo. Be the hangings up, Corsilio, and all the chairs and stools put into method. The day is old, methinks time runs fast upon the minute brings. My disciples do my bills and compliments still relish. Corsilio. Do they please the palate? Gorgon. My most ingenious and noble Critocaster. Bravely. Bills, pills, you should say, not face, but lined with gold. They swallow them greedily, and self-flock them, and agglomerate. My son, heir of the Muses, a proclamation is as quiet as the poor man's box. No man looks after it, not a ballad monger has any audience, but happy is the man who writes first post to your papers and cries admirable. Your old men look upon them with their spectacles as they would eye an obligation. Within a minute of forfeiture, Gasparo. Thou hast eaten up the furies already, and speakest all buskins. But clothes walk in the clouds. I have not heard of any mountebank of wit durst ever attempt to set up shop with the trade yet. But will Sesher take your place? Enter Babalcus. Gorgon's foot, 'tis Babalcus. Babalcus. This is the compliment school. Gorgon, 3 cuts and a half, eh? Dances. I give you ere generous salutation, and a wish fair morn descend upon you. Thrice noble spirit, welcome does your worship desire to be sprinkled with the drops of Helicon, to gather the pippin of Parnassus, and have your forehead filleted with Apollonian vase or laurel. Of Balcus trough, sir, I do not know how to consider what you say, although I know it is Latin, sir. The cause of my coming to you is to let you understand that here is a compliment school, and I have a great desire to be taught some of your figures and brave words. I do mean to pay for it soundly, too, sir. I thank my stars, as they say, I have ready money about me. Gorgon shall be reverberated and reverberated, my exact piece of stolidity. Please you draw near, there is the star of eloquence, under whom I am Didasco in English, his usher. Babalcus, a gentleman usher, at least. Gorgon, approach without fear. Here is a pupil, sir, desires to suck the honey of your eloquence. He is a gentleman in folio. Gasparo, your accession is grateful, my most gentle lump of incipience. What compliment doth arrive the palate of your generosity? Babalcus, what says he? Pray in English. Gorgon, he asks what kind of verbosity you would be practicing, because I perceive you are raw. I will descend to your capacity. He asks what compliment you would learn. Babalcus, why, look you, sir, I would have 2 kinds of compliments. For, sir, I am in love, and I am in hate. Gasparo, how? In love and hate too. Babalcus, yes, I am in love with a wench, and would have a delicate speech, or I am in hate with a gentleman, a young animal, and I would kill him now without danger of the law. To tell you true, he did abuse me in the presence of my sweetheart, did saving this good company kiss my backside. Gorgon, how? Babalcus, but it was with his foot, sir. Now in regard, I have not the heart to kill him with my sword. I would cut him in pieces and murder him with my mouth guns. Look you, sir, here's money, please yourself, but I pray you give me a powering speech, for I would blow him up. I beseech you, if you ever put gall in your ink, make it a bitter speech. Sparrow, sir, I will draw you a sublime speech to conjure. Babalcus, pray do, for he has a great spirit in him. Gasparo, usher, in the meantime, entertain him with some copy of a Morse compliment. Can work on there. It's an usher's fee, belongs to my place. Babalcus, here's gold for your fee. Received it for a good fee, simple, I am sure. Gorgon, simple, I am sure. Aside, so, sir, look you, I should teach you to make a leg first, but these postures are not. Resplendent mistress, for thy face doth for excel all other, like a blazing star we multitudes wonder at. Vouchsafe to cast out of those sparkling diamond eyes thou hast a sacred influence on thy vowed creature that is confounded with thy form and feature. Babalchus, admirable Gorgon, goddess of Cyprus. Babalchus, stay, I do not like that word Cyprus. Note, Cyprus is the name of stuff, something like crepe, and as Gorgon says, the emblem of mourning. Our old dramatists seldom use the word without a pun, of the humor of which this of Babalchus may be taken as a fair specimen. For she'll think I mean to make hatbands of her. Cannot you call her Tafata goddess, or if you go to stuff cloth of gold were richer? Gorgon, oh, there's a conceit. Cyprus is the emblem of mourning. Here by Cyprus, you declare how much you pine and mourn after her, sir. But Balkis, very good, pray you go on. Gorgon, goddess of Cyprus, Venus is a slut. But Balkis, say, who do I call slut now? The goddess of Cyprus, Venus, or my love? Gorgon, you tell the goddess that Venus is a slut. But Balkis, I do so. Gorgon, for thou art Venus fair, and she is not. But Balkis, how is she Venus fair then, when I call her slut to her face? Gorgon, no, sir, you love this Venus fair, and she is not. That makes plain the other, that she is a slut. Oh, that I were flea upon thy lip, there would I suck forever, not skip. Babalchus, Gorgon, that is, you would not bite her by the lip, or if you think they're too high in place, I'll be content to suck below thy waist. Babalchus, which side she please. Gorgon, thy foot I'd willing kiss, but that I know thou wouldst not have thy servant stoop so low. She will give you leave to kiss higher. Oh, speak thou wilt be mine. I will be the truest worm e'er trod on shoe to thee. But Balkis, worm. Gorgon, by worm you do insinuate and wriggle yourself into her affection, and she by shoe will conceive you desire the length of her foot. How do you like it, sir? But Balkis, I would not for 40 pounds buy it to come to compliment. Why, I shall be able in a small time to put down a reasonable gentlewoman. Gorgon, oh, any ordinary lady, you must get it without book now to make your legs. But Balkis, I have 2 maids in my hands. Gorgon, oh, by no means, your legs are made to your feet. Enter Delia. Gasparo, beauty and graces dwell upon the face of my disciple Delia. Delia, muse has inspired you. What at study? Gasparo, negotiating a little with the muses. Gorgon, see me salute her, as many happiness wait on Delia as beams shoot from the sun this pleasant morn. Delia, as many thanks requite you as that sun is old in minutes, as the day's begun. Babalchus, what's she? Carcolia. Gorgon, her mistress best movable, a chambermaid. Babalchus, she is an early riser at school so soon. Gorgon, she is an early riser, and yet sometimes as soon down as up she cannot be quite for serving men. 'Tis her hour between 8 o'clock and her mistress rising to come to discipline. Babalchus, 'tis a pretty smug wench is her name. Delia, she has a pretty name too. Gorgon, oh, sir, all her credit is in her good name. It was Diana's the goddess of chastity, and therefore when she marries she may cuckold her husband by privilege, where Diana gave horns to enter her serving maid. Serving maid, where's master? Gasparo, who's that? Servant, sir, my master has sent you a little gold. He desires you to send him the speech he should speak at sessions in the country. He's now writing down. Gasparo, examining his ledger. Sir Valentine Juan Brans, that is never a clerk. Servant, the name, sir. Gasparo, newly put into commission for this piece being poisoned, it fall to him to give the charge. I have drawn it. Let me see. In coming here, read it. Carcolio, he made the better instruct his master. A touch. Gorgon, good man of the jury, for this session I will not implicate you with the badge and circumstance. I am unwilling to confound your little wits with affected divisions of my narration. To quiz, quid, quomodo, and quandos, I will neither utter by gross nor part my speech into a dozen long points, not often in the middle and untagged. In the end you are to present malefactors, whereof you are the chief reformers. And seeing you stand ready for your charge, I will give fire to this great piece of service and send you all off with a powder, that in my case we may go to dinner betimes. Gasparo, so 'tis enough. Bear my respects to your master. Tell him 'tis a speech will do him credit. Bid him learn perfectly without book. Gorgon, and do you hear? If he chance to be at a nonplus, he may help himself with his beard and handkerchief, or will it be a good posture for his hand out, and then to be fumbling with his band strings? Farewell. Exit serving man. Enter mistress, Medulla, and a servant. Gaspar, mistress Medulla, the sun of honor shine upon your hopes till it sublime you to a ladyship. I will attend you presently. Medulla, sir, I bid your fellow make ready the curric and attend me here about an hour hence. I will ride home. Exit servant. Balgus, what gentlewoman is that? Gorgon, an old country gentlewoman that hath buried her husband lately, and comes up to be a lady. For she swears she will not marry any more gentlemen. She has fallen out with the justice of peace wife in the country, and she will have a knight, though she pay for his horse hired to spite her neighbors. Gasparo, a word with you, sir. But Balcus, your friend and master, but Balcus, have you done, sir? Gasparo, the Cupidian fires burn my breast, and like the oven I am full of squibs and crackers. Gives him a paper, but Balcus, this will powder him. Gorgon, lady, wounded by your beauty, I will acknowledge mercy if you kill me not, yet rather murder me than vulnerable still your creature, unless you mean to medicine where you have hurt, and I implore no better remedy than I may derive from the instrument wherewith you pierced me like Achilles' spear, and your eye, having shot lightning into my breast, have power with a smile to fetch out the consuming fire, and yet leave my heart inflamed. Delia, sir, although where I am not guilty of offence, I might deny justly to descend to a satisfaction, yet rather than I would be counted a murderer, I would study to preserve so sweet a model as yourself, and since you desire my eye, which inflamed, you showed with the virtue of a gracious smile make you happy, and your fire it shall shine as you would have it, and disclaim that beam shall shine upon another object. Gorgon said, very well, this is your cunning lesson. Knocking within, Gasparo, some strangers, Corpulio. Gorgon, sir, the country comes in upon us. Enter countryman and oath. Countryman, is not here a compliment school? Gasparo, a school of generous education, sir. Countryman, I have brought my son to be a scholar. I do mean to make him a courtier. I have an offer of 5 or 6 offices for my money, and I would have him first taught to speak. But Balcus, he is a great child, cannot he speak it? Gaspar, in what kind of compliment please you, venerable sir, to be indoctrinated? But we will withdraw. Exit Gasparo, countryman, and oath. Enter gentlemen. Gentlemen, come for another lesson, my brave Mars. Now I am fit to quarrel with the stars and catch at Jove. But Balcus, what's he? Gorgon, Orlando, Feroccio. Gentlemen, by the blood-stained passion of my pores, I will carbonado thee, keep off, or in my fury I will cut thee into storms and blow thee about the world. But Balcus, I hope he does but compliment. Gentlemen, I will outlabor Jove, born Hercules, and in a greater fury ransack, I will tear from the sisters their contorted curls, and rack the destinies on Zion's will, brains prospering a Sisyphus rolling stone, and in a brazen cauldron cloaked with lead, boil Minos, Eucus, and Radaman, throw Pluto headlong into Moorish fans and sooty regions, dam up Caucasus with tormented souls, and batter down the brazen gates of hell, make the infernal 3-chap bandog roar, cram Tullus with apples, last the fiends with whips of snakes and poison scorpions, snatch Jane Prometheus from the vulture's maw, and feed him with her liver, make all char, whack back again the souls, or buffet him with his own oars to death. Gorgon, so 'tis well, you shall take forth a new lesson, sir. Sit down and breathe. But Balcus, 'twas a devilish good speech, enter Geniolo behind, and Geniolo, oh, why did nature make thee fair and cruel? But Balcus, what spruce fellow is this? Gorgon, he is 150 pounds a year in potentia, a yeoman's son, and Essos as peace's clerk. He is in love with a farmer's daughter, and thus he speaks his passion in blank verse. And Canolio, thou art some goddess that, to amaze the earth with thy celestial presence, hast put on the habit of a mortal god sometimes, would visit country houses and gild over a sublunary habitation, glory of their presence, and make heaven to send to an hermitage. Sure, their father was my son disguised in a shepherd's weeds, and thou dost come from Jove. No marvel then we swains do wonder at thee and adore Venus herself, the queen of Therion, when she is riding through the Milky Way, drawn with white doves, is but a blouse and must, when thou appearest, leave her bird-drawn coach and give the reins to thee, and trudge afoot along the heavenly plains, paved with stars and duty of thy excellence, while the gods, looking amazed from their crystal windows, wonder what new-come deity doth call them to thy adoration. The Balcus, O heavenly farmer's daughter, Gorgon, I'll call him in, and Genolio, coming forward, your servant, sir, to with Dula, lady, I kiss your hand and reverence the antiquity of your vestment. Dula, fortune, let her fall her riches on thy head, thou mayest fill thy apron. I am your humble observer, and wish you all accumulations of prosperity. But Balcus, sir, I desire your waste. And Genolio, I do evacuate myself to be your shadows, my generous condisciples. Gorgon, this is scholar-like, but Balcus, he's one of the head form, I warrant. We enter Gasparo, countryman, and Gasparo, sir, I receive your son, will wind up his ingenie fear not, but first he must be under maestro, who must teach him the postures of his body, to make legs and cringes, and then he shall be advanced to a higher class. Garcolia, lick him with your method into some proportion, take off the roughness of his behavior, then give him the principle of salutation. Countryman, la, you there, boy, he will teach you the principles of salutation. Well, good morrow, sir, and I'll leave my jewel. Exit Gorgon, your jewel may have the grace to be hanged one day. Enter Jenkins. Bless you, gentlemen, all, in your studies and contemplations. Here a school of compliments, pray you. Gasparo, a place of generous breeding. Jenkins, generous breeding. Hark you, her name was Jenkins, a good gentleman, 'tis known her to take no pleasure in the elections and urds and phrases and rhetorics. Was men have all hearts and fidelities. Mark you here was going along by create business, by casting her eyes and visions upon your pills and significations of your skills and professions. Look, you are come in to see the fashions and manners of your exercise, and yet, if your worships has any madrigals and pastoral canticles, look you, for in truth and verities was going now to the odes and fours, and mean to turn shepherds, godlings, her will give you good payments of all your inventions and muses. Pray you now, Gasparo, Morris pastorals I can furnish you. Venerable sir, turn, Amaryllis, to thy swain. Thy Damon calls thee back again. Here's a pretty arbor by where Apollo cannot pry. Here let's sit, and while I play, sing to my pipe and roundelay. How like you it, sir? Jenkins, roundelay's very good. Here is moneys and considerations. Look you, Gorgon, we acknowledge your bounty, my 10th worthy. Gasparo to Medulla. So, mistress, I have trespassed on your patience. Now I will take your occasion by the forelock. You can say your lecture. Have you your handkerchief ready, that when a suitor comes you may put him off with wiping your eyes, as if tears stood in them ever since your husband was buried. Well, suppose I have had access to your chamber, I begin, lady, think it not strange, if love which is active in my bosom force me to turn petitioner, that I may be reckoned amongst your servants. All my ambition, sweetest, is to be made happy in your affection, which I will study to deserve in my utmost possibilities. Medulla, alas, I had a husband, Gasparo, very well counterfeited. Nay, weep not, those eyes were made to shine, not waste with dew. If it be for the remembrance of him you have lost, recover him again, by placing your good opinion on a man shall sweat to do you services. Medulla, doth not, sir, become you our modesty to talk of love so soon. You will renew my passion for his loss, and draw down tears afresh upon his hearse. You do not well to oppress a widow thus. I pray, sir, leave me. At least I will join you if you stay. To speak no more of love is unwelcome. What, am I perfect? Gasparo, so 'twas very well. At the next lesson you shall learn to be more kind. Gorgon, will please you hear the novice? Gasparo, good boy, speak out. Oh, if God save you, sir, felicities be accumulated upon you, sir. I thank you, generous sir. You oblige me to be your servant, sir, in all my possibilities, sir. I honor your remembrance, sir, and shall be proud to do my observance, sir. Most noble, sir. Gasparo, very hopeful. Now a repetition altogether, the more the merrier. They all rehearse at once. Enter Infortunio. Infortunio, what, a barley break? Which couple are in hell? Are you not Helen, whose associate lust ruined the fair Ilium? And you, sir, Paris is with a golden nose. Hark you, Rafaldo is married to Selina. Balcus, who? That's my father-in-law, Infortunio. How your father, look, he has cloven feet. I am glad I have found you. What are you in hell for? Gasparo, insinuate to them all for their own safeties. He's desperate mad, bid none stirred hence, aside to Gorgon. Fortunio, hey, how come you all this damned? Jenkins, damned, who's damned? Is Jenkins damned? Gasparo, I beseech you, sir, to maintain the credit of my school. I shall be undone, else humor him a little. Jenkins, will you have her damned one? Here you pray, a Welshman was damned. Of all things in the world, her cannot abide to be damned. Gorgon, see if you can roar him away. Gentlemen, keep off. I am Hercules, son of Alphonse, compressed by Jove. I carbon thee. Fortunio, how art thou Hercules? Strikes him down. Lie there, usurper of his name. Bold centaur, so he's dead. By this I prove I am Jove born. Jenkins, well, for your credits and reputations, her care not to be damned for companies and fellowships. Look you, has he knocked him down? Would he had knocked Jenkins down? Fortunio, now on with your relations. Tell me all the stories of your fortune. 'Tis I am Hercules, sent to your for you all. What are you damned for? In this club behold all your releasements. What are you? Gorgon, stay in order and be damned. Aside to Gasparo and the others. Gasparo, I am the conscience of a usurer who have been damned these 22 years for lending money gratis. Fortunio, how a usurer, why dost not corrupt the devil to fetch thy soul away? He'll take a bribe for lending money, Gratis. Gasparo, yes, for thanks. I took no interest for it. The lending of each £100 they brought me home some 20 or 30 thanks until he was paid in gold. Infortunio, gold thanks, what a go. I'll release you upon condition you shall build a hospital and die a beggar. What are you? Gorgon, the soul of a watchman. Fortunio, how came you damned? Could you not watch the devil? Gorgon, he took me napping on Midsummer Eve, and I never dreamed on. Fortunio, your wife had given you opium overnight. Gorgon, no sir, I had watched 3 nights and before, and because I would not wink at 2 or 3 drunkards as they went reeling home at 12 o'clock at night, the devil owed me his spite. Fortunio, well, you shall be apprenticed to an alchemist, and watch his stills night by night, nor sleep till he get the philosopher's stone. What are you? Lena, sir, I am chambermaid. Fortunio, what are you damned for? Ardelia, not for fulfilling my mistress' secret, for I kept them better than my own, but keeping my maiden head till it was still, I am condemned to lead spies in hell. Fortunio, alas, poor wench, upon condition you will be wise hereafter, and not refuse gentlemen's proffers. Learn pride every day in painting, bestow a courtesy now and then upon the apparitor to keep counsel. I release you. Take your apes and monkeys away with you, and bestow them on gentlewomen and ladies that want playfellows. What are you? Ingenolio, I am under sheriff, sir, damned because I told the debtors rich were out against them, brought them to composition without arrest, favored poor men for a whole year together, was very good, and my office gave up a just account at year's end and broke. Infortunio, O miracle! An honest man, thou shalt be church warden to a parish, draw the presentments, and keep the poor man's box for 7 years together. 'Tis pity, but thou shouldst have 50 wives to propagate honest generation. What are you? Medulla, Justice's wife in the country, sir. Infortunio, and who drew your minimus hither? What are you damned for? Medulla, for refusing satin gowns and velvet petticoats, turning back capons at Christmas and session times, making much of one of my husband's servants, merely for his honesty and good service towards me. Fortunio, 'tis justice you shall bury your husband quickly, wear some blacks a while for fashion's sake, and within a month be married to his clerk, unless you will be divided among the serving men. What are you? Oh, if a younger brother, sir, born at the latter end of the week and wane of the moon, put into the world to seek my own fortune, got a great state of wealth by gaming in one scene, and so purchased unhappily the state of damnation you see me in. Fortunio, came you in it by purchase, then you did not claim it by your father's interest as an heir. Why ways you of the estate, because it is litigious, and you shall make presently a bargain and sale of it to a scrivener, shall buy it off of you and pay both his ears down upon the nail for it. What are you? Balkus, I am a horse curser. Fortunio, and couldst now outride the devil. But Balkus, I had not the grace to mend my pace. I was an honest horse curser, and suffered every foal to ride me. I knew not what belonged to horseplay, yet the world kicking me, and I never wince. All that I am damned for is that desiring to thrive in the world, to have good luck, and to horse flesh. I ambled to the bed of Parson's wife that was coldish once, and gave her husband a horse for it in good fashion. Never gave me God a mercy for it. Indeed, it proved afterwards to have the yellows. Fortunio, there was some keller for it. Well, since your occupation is found, did you shall trot every day afoot, and walk a knave in the horse fair. What are you? Jenkins, have no mind at all to be damned, because her will fight with her and kill all the devils in hell. Dagon. Gorgon's foot, here is more ado to get one Welshman damned than a whole nation aside. Sir, it is but in jest. Jenkins, in jest? It's in jest. Well, look you, her will be contented to be damned in jest and merriments for you. And Fortunio, you will tell me what you're damned for. Jenkins, and her be so hot, was get somebody's else to be damned for Jenkins. Her will tell her in patience. Look you, for her was damned for her valor in ridding the world of monsters. Look you, dragons and 7 heads and serpents with a tail a mile long. Pray you, and Fortunio, let me embrace thee, worthy in my arms. I'll charm the destinies for their bold attempt, for cutting off thy thread. Thou shalt count their throats, and be installed Lord in Elysium. Oh, let me hug thee, Owen Glendower. Jenkins, Owen Glendower was her cousin. Pray you, and Fortunio, go your ways, all stay. Take hence Prometheus and bury him. When you come into hell again, there is no releasement. Jenkins, say, so farewell, gentlemen. Now you mean to make travels and peregrinations to the Uds and plains. Look you very fast. Good speed to all. Gorgon, we thank thee, jovial Hercules. Gaspar, live long, thou king of hell. So well done of all sides. Here our skull breaks up. I might have run mad like this poor gentleman. I taken off the edge of melancholy. O love, thou art a madness, trying our souls with joy to kill with sadness. Fortunio, so poor souls, how glad they are of liberty. This is a hot house, I do scorch and broil, seek the Elysian fields and die there.